Hello everyone, Jeremiah here, and today I'm going to be listing my top 5 favorite platformers on the OG PlayStation 1. If you do not agree with the order that I put these in, or just for some odd reason don't like any of these games, then you post a list of any top 5 platformers that you like on the PlayStation 1 or any other console for that matter. The order that I am listing these games in doesn't mean that this is how I exactly feel about these games in this order. They're just my favorite classic platformers to play in general. Don't post no stupid ass comment, just watch the video and have some sense. But with all that out of the way, let's begin.
Androids! You will not win! What am I gonna party time?
Ready when you are!
Starting at number 5 is Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back, developed by Naughty Dog, which is also known for the Jak and Daxter games, Uncharted titles, and The Last of Us. This was the very first console Crash Bandicoot game I've ever played. I still remember when I ordered this on eBay and it arrived the day before my 9th grade year started. The platforming is excellent, music's kick-ass, voice acting is perfect, controls are near perfection, and the replay value is great. While I can give credit to its predecessor, I still think that this game definitely blows Crash Bandicoot 1 out of the water. If you want to buy a Crash Bandicoot game in order to get familiar with the series, I recommend getting this or Crash Bandicoot 3 worked. You won't regret it, they're worth buying. Next up with number 4, we have Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko, a game that was developed by Crystal Dynamics. Gex 3 is a great platformer for the PlayStation 1. The game is full of color, Gex controls pretty good, but it'll take a bit just to get used to the controls. Level design's inspiring from a bunch of cartoons and movies. Gex's jokes are hilarious. Yeah, they're outdated since the game was released in 1999, but hey, if you don't like his voice, you can easily just turn off his voice when you go to the pause menu. I go back and forth to myself on whether I think Gex 3 is the best in the series or if Gex 2 is the best in the series. You see, Gex started off as a 2D platformer on the 3DO PC and PS1. With the huge transition of going into 3D with Gex 2 and Gex 3, do they both still hold up? Hell yes. The power-ups which you obtained in the first Gex game are all still here in Gex 2 and Gex 3. Which one do I prefer? Well, I have to go with Gex 3. I don't know, it's like when you look at Gex 2 and Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko is Gex 2 but with so much more variety and it works perfectly fine. The tank in the army channel is something you'll have to get used to though. It's not bad, but you'll have to get used to it. Wanna know a fact? Bruce Straley actually worked on both Gex 2 along with Crash Team Racing, which I found pretty cool. The only slightest little grudge I have with this game is that fucking evil Santa in the holiday broadcasting channel. Sometimes it is impossible to hit him if you try to time the tail whip right. It's not super hard, but it'll be aggravating. Nonetheless, I still think that Gex 3 is a great platformer. Give it a try if you haven't. Hell, the whole trilogy is even on the PSN store too. It's a good series, but it's incredibly underrated. I highly recommend checking it out. Number 3 goes to Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. Honestly, while I do think that Spyro the Dragon's first game on the PlayStation 1 was great, I still think that Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage is the best in the series when it comes to quality, variety, and color. We have new characters within the series known as Hunter, who can be a dumbass at times, Fawn, which can be annoying but cool at certain occasions, Ripto, who is also the antagonist of the main series of Spyro games, and Moneybags, the bastard who you will always spend gems on just to progress through the game. I'm only around the 60% of this game, and while I do think it's a great platformer to play, to me it just felt like a fucking drag to 100% of video game platformer to getting an ending of the protagonist defeating an antagonist. Beating the antagonist at any percentage of a platformer should be optional. I don't know if it's just me, but personally, I just felt as though 100%ing Spyro 2 just to finish the game is completely dumb. I thought that 100%ing a platformer was what replay value meant. I'm not even gonna keep worrying about it, but still, nonetheless, it's an awesome platformer that I encourage you to buy whenever you have the chance. Taking the spot at number 2 is Pac-Man World 1 on the PlayStation 1. Now, I love Pac-Man World 2, but the moment I got my PlayStation Network card, downloaded it, and started playing Pac-Man World, let me tell you that you will be amazed at how fucking amazing that title screen music is. Hell, it's the music that's playing in the background at this part of the video. Pac-Man World is a game that you can play in the morning before you head off to school. Well, unless you're not being rushed out the house. But yeah, it's one of those platformers that are calm and vibrant, very colorful as well. And no, it's not one of those games that aren't great for its first title in the platformer series of games. I haven't played Pac-Man World 3 yet, but I can safely say that this and Pac-Man World 2 are very good games to play. Man, you ever had that satisfying feeling when you chomped the ghost in a Pac-Man game? Yep, it's still here. Number 1 goes to Klonoa Deutsche Phantom Isle, one of the best 2.5D platformers on the PlayStation 1. Before Tomba/Tombi, there was Klonoa, one of Namco's greatest but underrated platforms to ever be on the PlayStation 1. This game's a gem, I tell ya. The controls are precise, the music is catchy, the game overall just still holds up today even for PlayStation 1 standards. Some may say that Klonoa was just made to be a competitor towards Mario, Sonic, and Crash, when really I find that statement to be very blunt and vague. This game is very expensive online. The only cheapest ones you'll get are the Japanese ports, so if you understand Japanese, then go ahead and buy it. Or if you just like spending lots of money, you can do that too. But I recommend downloading it off of the PlayStation Network store than buying it online, since it's way cheaper, and with the cost of $5.99, I think that deal is too good for the consumers. Klonoa Deutsche Phantom Isle is definitely a must-have, and if you haven't played it, you are missing out on one of the best underrated platformers on the PS1. Download it onto your PS3, PS Vita, PSP, your PC-as-ROM, or hell, get the Wii remake if you never had the chance to play it on the original PlayStation. And that pretty much just sums it up for this PlayStation 1 list. Do not let my list affect how you truly feel about these games, because what you have to remember is that these are all of my experiences. So if you have different feelings about these titles, that is perfectly fine, and I cannot go against your opinion. But yeah, that's all for today. Stay tuned for more content coming to the channel, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.